All right, so for this side of the trim, all right, you're looking at the door. To get the window off, you got to get this trim stuff off. Again, the main screw holding it on is like here, and then there's a little plastic clip that was here that looks like that. So really it's just one screw at the bottom that's holding the black trim on, and it's from this side. So I think it's a Phillips. Get that out of there. And your black trim piece that's kind of got this triangle on it is going to go up and then take it off. Don't just pluck it off, because then you break these things. Here I lost one. I think it's down in the door, but I'll find it later. That has to come off. Then when those are off, you've got to loosen up. I keep them on the roof, but these types of things that have the window slides in. This is all before getting the window out. So this one here was way down in the door, okay? So you got to unscrew this nut off of here, and then this one hole here, and then a little bit higher up, this one was in here. It had attached to it. Kind of like a long, I'm going to show it in a second. So these tracks kind of have to come up and out of the door. Okay, they hold the rubber seal for the window. So once you get those tracks removed, all right, then you can move the rubber seal out from the door frame all along here. Just pull that rubber seal out gently. It won't break. Now the window was here at one point. You're going to lower it down as much as possible. All right, and then pull that rubber out and store it somewhere with your brackets that it rode in. Now to get the window out, which I already did, you got to get at the bolts. Turn the fan off again. That are behind the door panel. Getting the door panel off is another essential thing that has to happen, and it's more frustrating looking than it really is. You see that yellow screw holder in the back there? That's toward the back of the door. That's the first thing that you have to unscrew to get that entire door panel off. And I'm going to show you why. This is the entire door panel. And sometimes these little plastic things come off, and I'm just going to put it back on while I'm able to. If you've done a little bit of this work, you'll know what I mean. You want to make sure that each of those little clips are back in place for when you return the panel back to place. But it looks like this, right? You got your door panel. Well, that little yellow thing I showed you corresponds to that right down there. So it's tucked way down in the left-hand corner, low in of the door. You know, use a short stubby Phillips screwdriver. Reach to it and get that screw out first. Once you get that out, all that's holding this whole panel in, essentially, what's holding it in, are these types of clips, okay? I'm kind of working backwards on it, and I'm sorry about that, but this saves you a lot of trouble if you get these off without taking the whole thing apart. This top part doesn't have to come apart. Nothing has to get ruined or come apart, but there is that gaping area there. And that is actually where your entire job begins, because it's held on really by just these screws. And that really has to come off very, very first. Is this part here, which has got your switch for the window, and then your handle here that you open and close the sliding door with, and up here was your lock, you know, lock the door. So to get this panel off very first, it's just these 2 screws that are in the front. And I think those were the black ones actually. Once those are off, this thing will come out. Then you're gonna find that the switch here for the window is still in there. Now I unscrew it out. It was these long silver screws holding in the window switch. And I leave my window switch connected, okay? The reason is so I can still operate the window feature, because you're gonna need that for what I'm about to talk about. Some people will go ahead and take that clip off of there and make it easy, but then they can't operate the window. And why you have to operate the window is so that you can very successfully get to the bolt holes that you need when you're trying to get this window physically out of the hole, out of the area like I did. That's the point I'm at now. I'm putting this video together because I had to search a lot to figure out how to do this on that door. The other side, and now it's going a lot easier on this door. So far so good. But to get the window out, you got to pluck out these 2 rubber grommet things. So this one here, and then this one here behind here, because as you look inside, then you got your switch, and you could bring your window up. Isn't the window? I might have to turn the van actually like on. Sorry, I don't have a cameraman, but let me start this van again. I like to get a little cold air going anyway. So, all right, you got to get your window out. That's what we're back to. Good. All right, so your window motor's working good, but you have to get the bolts to remove the window. You got to get them right. I'm trying to line this up. There. There. You see it. All right, if you're looking like straight in, and you're gonna use like, you know, it's 10 millimeter, but you're gonna get straight on in there. You wanna make sure that those bolts are exactly where you need them. So, you know, there, it's lined up. And then you gotta unscrew the window bolts out, and they look like this. And because now after you got that rubber out and the side, you know, back here, the brackets that were there, that rubber seals out of the way, the door, panel from the inside has been removed. The trick being that one screw down there to start with, got to start with that. It makes the rest of them just pluck right off, and then kind of lift that door panel up and over, because there's going to be hooks that hang over the top. Once you have it all exposed, you take out those 2 bolts for the window after having lined them up precisely where you need them in the hole by using your switch for the window up and down, which you left connected. You might have to run your van or have the battery on somehow, but it makes it so easy that the window comes right out. So they make the bottom connectors blue, very easy to identify when they're in the door. Ah, this window's hot. Let's put it somewhere a little cooler. So there you go. Be careful bringing the window up and out. You don't want to break it, of course. But with everything removed, it does come out pretty easily. Now, the next big step, I recommend removing this seat, but I can't get mine out today. I don't know why, it's stuck, but it would give you room to sit in there and work, which you're really gonna need. But turn off your sliding door, so every time you try to do something, oh, I guess I had it off, it doesn't keep moving on you. So turn it off so that when you do operate it, it will go where you want it to go manually. All right, I'm gonna end this video here. This is all the prep to get at that part in the back, and next video what I'll do is kind of show where I'm at. We got to get like this top panel, but not completely off, just a few things disconnected, and we'll take a look at it from the inside and how we access that motor I was telling you about that I ordered. The one we're going to need for the very rear function is actually right here. These are going to come out. This is the part in here that catches and grips and pulls the door in for its final motion onto that. I don't know what you call it, but you know that part. Ugh. And that motor, most people don't talk about in any of the videos, but it's a very important function for the door to close, or else you're frustrated and you have to keep hipping it shut. But it's way in the back of the door. It's situated all the way back here. It's past that window frame that we removed. That's why really it's worth removing these window frames, because they're just gonna be in the way. So you got to get it out of there anyway. And then all the door stuff, the window obviously had to come out. I mean, all the door frame stuff. The window had to come out to get you know, access to all that back part where that motor is going to be that we need to replace. All right, the next half is going to be inside, and I'll get to that next.